Because to me it was they're all wrong.
That's because
why learn about them?
Well, I got in trouble for going to an Episcopalian church. Well, not like in trouble,
but yeah.
But I told my mom, I was like, the closest church is an Episcopalian church, and I went there on this Sunday because I was. And she looked at me like, okay, I would have rather you stayed home with your Bible.
Let's now look at the Anglicans. First of all, I should mention that some people don't actually consider Anglicans to be Protestants. They actually see them as being a sort of middle position instead, between Catholicism and Protestantism. This is because on the surface, their overall structure and traditions often look a lot like Catholicism. And when it comes to their beliefs, they don't really have a founding theologian, such as Luther or Calvin. But considering that the Anglicans split from Rome around the same time as the Lutheran and Reformed branches, I think it is fair to say that they are indeed a type of Protestantism.
Oh no, my family firmly stood on the ground for the longest time that the Church of England were Catholics. They were the same thing as Catholics, just named different.
Because
I don't know. But that was the firm standing.
Oh, but the Church of England does not recognize the Pope.
Right? It does not.
It recognizes the King.
Right.
As the leader of the church.
You're correct.
So that's the
I guess that's the thing that
difference.
makes it Protestant, but my family would fight you on that. This is
like,
wild for me to see them.
Even on the papacy point. The papacy point, where they believe in the papacy? Anglicans?
Well, like my parents would argue that because they see the king as the pope, they still acknowledge a pope, and therefore they're still Catholic.
Oh, I see what you're saying. They're still following the same.
Yeah,
okay.
Like
gotcha.
Yeah, like they would fight you on that.
Whereas the Lutherans, there isn't a one person at the top anywhere.
Correct.
So
that's the mindset.
Okay,
in order to be Protestant, you can't acknowledge any pope. Whereas I guess what he's doing is, in order to be Catholic, you have to, or Protestant, you can't acknowledge
the papacy.
The pope.
Yeah, you can't acknowledge the papacy.
Which is different from the way I'm used to looking at it.
Well, because we also were taught it from indoctrination.
Oh yeah,
the one true church.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Not from a family tree.
We definitely have to knock the Anglicans off there. They can't be part of the true church.
Mm-mm.
Now, as the English started to develop colonies all over the world, they took Anglicanism with them. Initially, churches in colonies were simply part of the Church of England, but over time they gained independence. Of special note is the Episcopal Church in the USA. Basically, when the American colonies split away from Great Britain, the Anglican Church there split away as well, becoming known as the Episcopal Church. Episcopal meaning led by bishops.
So the Episcopalian Church
is the Anglican Church of the United States.
And looks at the Archbishop of Canterbury?
Yes.
But not the King of England.
No, they don't look at the Archbishop of Canterbury because they split from the Archbishop of Canterbury during the Revolutionary War.
But if they're still Anglican, who do they look at?
Their own. We have our own Archbishop.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I didn't know that Episcopalian
was Anglican.
No.
I knew that.
I'm sure you did.
But that's
because to me it was they're all wrong.
That's because
why learn about them?
Well, I got in trouble for going to an Episcopalian church. Well, not like in trouble,
But yeah.
But I told my mom, I was like, the closest church is an Episcopalian church, and I went there on this Sunday because I was. And she looked at me like, okay, I would have rather you stayed home with your Bible.
Okay, let's now look at the Reformed branch, which is strongly associated with the French theologian John Calvin. In fact, the word Reformed is often used interchangeably with Calvinist. Now, most people associate Calvinism with its purest form, also called five-point Calvinism, and often summarized by using the acronym TULIP.
I learned this. Hold on a second. I learned this. I need this crap. Oh my god.
So the Reformed branch turned into Calvinism, or was where Calvinism came from? Because we're Reformed now.
The Calvin invented Reformation.
Oh, okay. So
that's a really bad sentence.
But so
that's a really bad sentence.
Reformed and Calvinism are interchangeable.
They can be.
Okay.
The Calvinism we're familiar with today in the United States is an extremely strict version of what would have just been loosely called the Reformation Church.
Okay.
Back in the time of John Calvin.
Okay.
Was it John? John. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he had some things to say. He's kind of kicked it off. And the Calvinism we know today is everything that man said is the literal truth. And it's extremely strict in comparison to where it started.
Gotcha.
And has become a cult.
Fundamental. Yeah. So it's kind of like what Martin Luther was to Catholic Church. John Calvin's this other person that's like, no, I don't like any of that. I'm going to make a spiel about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Create a new thing.
So any of those symbols there at the bottom, I was allowed to go to those churches.
Okay.
Without question. Like, those were all safe.
Okay.
That's what my mom, I just now realized it was all Presbyterian churches. My mom was just like, yeah, that's fine. It's a Presbyterian.
And so Presbyterian is from
Scotland.
From Scotland, from Reformed.
Yes. Like a
John Calvin.
No, from Reformed from Anglicanism.
Right. Yeah. Reformed by John Calvin. The Reformed section, the orange section.
Yes, the orange section.
Is Reformed, and that is come to be by John Calvin.
Ultimately, yes. Yeah.
And then Scotland came up.
Don't tell Scotland that, though. Scotland will turn inside out if you say that John Calvin was sure.
It's in the orange section.
You're not wrong. I'm just saying, like, don't tell the Church of Scotland.
So the Church of Scotland does not use the term interchangeably.
No.
They do not say we're Calvinists.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. But that's where it came from.
I mean, ultimately
it's in the orange section.
It's all in the same pot.
Okay. So in the Church of Scotland, those settlers brought Presbyterian to America.
Yes.
And then they did all those weird mergers.